Good morning, family, and welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today is Wednesday, November 19th, 2008, and as you can see, we have a little bit of a crowd this morning, but we finished with Genesis, and we now moved on to Exodus, the first chapter. We moved on to Exodus, the first chapter, and in this chapter we see, remember now, Jacob or Israel has died, and even we see in this chapter that Joseph and his brethren also died, so we've actually moved into the next generation of the children of Israel, where they're still in the land of Egypt. And the king of Egypt, which is a new king, the Pharaoh has moved on as well too, he's become fearful because he sees that the children of Israel are multiplying and they're becoming even more powerful than those in the land of Egypt. So what he does, he assigns taskmasters or people over the children of Israel to really oppress them. And the thing that he did that really stuck out to me, and I'm going to bring up in today's Lesson for Life, was he had the midwives, which were the ones that were responsible for assisting to help to bring the children into the world. But the midwives that were with the children of Israel, once they saw it was a boy child, he wanted them to kill the boy children. But if it was a girl child, then the girl child would they can leave her alone. And I thought, I looked at it, I said the important lesson that we can learn from this is how the king of Egypt actually recognized that in order to destroy the nation, he had to destroy the men, or destroy the male figures in the nation. And by doing this, then he was going to actually keep them suppressed and keep them even at a weaker state. And what we can see from that, even in today's day and age, or whatever day you may be watching this, is that the male figure is such an important part in the male figure is such an important part in the strength of not just the family unit, but also the community and society, and even in the church. The male figure is such an important role, and men are not being necessarily killed like how they were before, but I believe a lot of men are being killed mentally by being mistaught or being misguided and misdirected into really taking their rightful position within their household, within their communities, within their churches. And that's what's actually weakening us as a people and destroying us. So God created things in a particular order. Of course, as you go back from the beginning, as we talked about, he made Adam, and then he made Eve as a helpmate for Adam. And as long as we stick with the original plan and purpose of these different, how God purposed for us to be, then we will continue to operate in strength and in power. But when we start to change and start modifying the plan, like how we saw certain people do even in the book of Genesis, then that's when problems do arise and problems will come up. So by us, the men, I would say, taking a rightful position, then that can avoid a lot of problems, and that's where we actually have strength and will continue to continue even in the blessing, like how the children of Israel will. So as the men are in position, then everything else kind of will just fall into place. And females are extremely important as well, and it's not just all about the men, but females are extremely important because the men do need help even to fulfill the things that they're supposed to do. So the female position is not I'm not saying that the females are not important, but what I'm saying is that they're supposed to be in position just like how the male is supposed to be in position. By the male and female both being in the proper position, then they can really take on the things that God would have for them to do, and also be in full power. And they can grow in as a family unit. I'll start the family unit first, and then as the families are stronger, then we'll also see how our communities and how our society will be stronger, and then also even our nation and our churches will be stronger as well too, by everybody being in the rightful position as God intended for us to be. And like I said, the lesson I got from this was how the king of Egypt recognized that and was destroying the men. And even the same thing is going on even today, where the men are being destroyed, not necessarily physically being killed, but by mentally being destroyed and taken out of their position. So with that is today's Lessons for Life. I want to encourage you to create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we will talk again tomorrow.